勝負だカカロット。恋すぎだ。
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is AS, and welcome to my YouTube channel. With an impressive roster of 11 titles, the God of War franchise has cemented its mark across the entire gaming industry. We have seen Kratos, the lead protagonist, as a Greek Terminator who wants nothing more but to kill the gods. We have seen him as a reserved father figure who will do anything in his power to protect his son and prevent the same godly prosecution that he received from the almighty Zeus. We have also seen him in the handheld space, with 2 titles on the PlayStation Portable, 1 game on mobile, and a text-based adventure online. While the cause of Kratos' insanity differs between the games, 2 details have always remained the same. 1, Kratos is in his prime, and 2, Kratos is pissed off. Earlier this year, PlayStation held a State of Play where they revealed a new God of War game. It altered the conventional gameplay of God of War by presenting a Metroidvania-style system, but it's not the switch up with the genre that took many people by surprise. Rather, it was the fact that you play as a much younger version of Kratos, who lives in Sparta and is in the process of learning how to become a Spartan. I have seen people who were excited for this new version of Kratos, and I have seen people who wish that an angry adult version of Kratos would return, and the Metroidvania style game would play similarly to titles like Blasphemous and The Last Faith. The initial backlash could have been due to the announcement following up from the news that the original trilogy is currently being remade, but that's besides the point. How's the new game? How is God of War Sons of Sparta? We will find out together in this review. As always, please share your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let's review God of War Sons of Sparta, which was released on February 12, 2026, exclusively on the PlayStation 5. Story. The core theme of the Greek trilogy is revenge. The core theme of the Norse video games is protecting your own kind. The narrative of God of War Sons of Sparta leans towards the latter theme. As I previously mentioned, God of War Sons of Sparta focuses on the younger Kratos, who is preparing for a ceremony in the near future that will officially honor him with the title of a Spartan. Although he is the main character, an equally important character in the story is Deimos, Kratos' brother, who certainly looks much different than the version we see of him in God of War Ghosts of Sparta. Early on in the game, one of the community's members tells you that one of the soldiers went missing, and your task for the remainder of the game is as follows: find them and help him return to Sparta. Without diving into spoilers, the plot on display is serviceable. Its impact on you will depend on whether or not you go out of your way to explore every area in the game. The more you explore, the worse the story will be by the title's conclusion. It is not a bad story, but the exploration in Metroidvania games typically takes away your attention from the main plot, and encourages you to care less and less about it as time goes on. There are titles like Prince of Persia Lost Crown and Nine Souls that are the exception to the rule, but the story in God of War Sons of Sparta will not win any awards. The positive side of experiencing Kratos' journey here is the additional context that we receive about Kratos and Deimos. All in all, the plot is average. It is not bad, but it's not good either. Visuals and audio design. The sound design in God of War Sons of Sparta is not too shabby. Each attack feels powerful, and the enemies shriek in an unexpected fashion. The music caters to lovers of Greek mythology, with absolute similarities to the original trilogy. If you played the older titles on the PlayStation 2, you will feel right at home with the game's soundtrack. As far as the visuals are concerned, I have no complaints. The 2D design of each character, enemy, and environment is well done, and the animations are very solid. The boss fights in particular are impressive, with larger-than-life creatures aggressively attacking you with deadly intent. Even though it's not targeted directly at the game's visuals, my main criticism in this section of the review is the frame rate. I had a smooth experience for the most part, but the game included several instances towards the latter half of the game, particularly when Kratos was oddly climbing a set of stairs, where the game was chugging along in sub-teen frame rates. Even so, God of War Sons of Sparta is great, both visually and audially, despite not sharing the budget of its older AAA siblings. Gameplay. God of War Sons of Sparta follows in the footsteps of many Metroidvania games such as Metroid Dread and Ori and the Blind Forest. You start your journey as an underpowered character who is unable to access certain parts of the map. As you continue your exploration and defeat enemies, you unlock character upgrades that ease the difficulty of your adventure and abilities that will allow you to unlock additional areas of the map. One of the appealing aspects of Metroidvania games is the flexibility it gives you to decide the title's difficulty. There will be items that you have no choice but collect in order to progress the story, but many of the title's collectibles are optional. The more you explore and the more items you collect, the easier the experience will be for you. You may decide to solely focus on key items and breeze through the narrative, but you will quickly discover that the title's bosses will not go easy on you, simply because you are underpowered. The final boss, more specifically, may prove as an insurmountable obstacle for gamers who decide to speedrun the initial playthrough. It may be disappointing for a final boss per God of War's past standards, but he's not a pushover if you do not collect any of the character upgrades. Speaking of which, let's talk about the bosses. From the first moment of the game, you will be introduced to the roster of God of War Sons of Sparta's bosses. They are typically much larger than any of the other enemies, and they offer a challenge that isn't seen again for the remainder of your adventure. Their attacks typically cover a wide area of the stage, forcing you to be on your A game with your defensive techniques. Thankfully, Sons of Sparta not only offers a nice range of defensive capabilities, but implements a color-based system that will help you decide which ability to use to counteract your enemy's attacks. You can block, you can dodge, and you can parry. If an enemy's attack is red, it must be dodged. If an enemy's attack is purple, it must be avoided at all costs. This color-based system keeps you on your toes during every confrontation, and prevents a scenario where you can get out of any predicament while spamming buttons. While Kratos' defensive capabilities are appreciated, their counterparts appeal to fans of the series even more so. As a wannabe soldier in the Spartan army, Kratos lacks the weaponry of past games. He is only able to inflict damage via a spear. You will be able to unlock attachments called Guri for your shield that will allow you to perform certain combos, but your spear is your only offensive friend during your adventure. Fortunately, the gods are on your side and offer various abilities and magic. You are able to use a solar sling to inflict range-based damage. You can use Evergreen Flame to deal fire-based damage. It does not seem that certain enemies are more susceptible to certain elemental damage, but the additional offensive moves are appreciated. If your only ability to destroy your enemies revolved around a simple combo with your spear, the title would lose all of its fun factor. It is not the case with Sons of Sparta, and its combat system is satisfying from start to finish. All of it being said, God of War Sons of Sparta plays like your typical Metroidvania game. It does not push any boundaries in terms of its gameplay, but the combat system offers cool flexibility with its offensive and defensive mechanics, and the exploration is rewarding. The bosses are also diverse and offer a decent challenge. If you decide to play Sons of Sparta, I would highly recommend that you explore every nook and cranny in order to alleviate some of the frustration that could be felt towards the latter part of the game. Overall though, God of War Sons of Sparta receives my seal of approval. Trophy support. If you take your time and explore every section of the multi-layered map, you will earn every trophy in no time and receive a shiny new platinum trophy in the process. Many of the trophies focus on either a specific type of collectible such as Guri or spear and shield parts, completing a certain side activity such as the olive tree battles, or defeating a boss like the Tyrant and Serpent. There are no miscellaneous trophies, and yet the game will not award you the platinum trophy simply by beating the game. As I said, you will have to explore every inch of the map and complete all of the content that Sons of Sparta has to offer. I did not have much trouble while earning every trophy, especially since I played on the easiest difficulty. No shame, by the way. But a few of the more obscure collectibles forced me to put the game down for a few days, while waiting for trophy guides to be created for the game and help me discover those collectibles' locations. At this point in time, the platinum trophy in God of War Sons of Sparta is very manageable, and you can increase or decrease its difficulty depending on your chosen difficulty setting at the start of the game. Replayability and fun factor. Once you finish your time with God of War Sons of Sparta, especially if you earn its platinum trophy, the list of reasons to replay your entire journey is practically non-existent. You could start a fresh save file on a harder or easier difficulty setting, but that is the extent of it. You do not get anything for beating the game in the hardest difficulty, nor do you get any gameplay modifications to start an adventure on the easiest difficulty with an overpowered character. With that being said, the conclusion of Kratos' story does not leave you empty-handed. Once you finish the main campaign, a challenge mode unlocks, where you are able to work with an AI companion or a friend to defeat waves of enemies under certain restrictions and while progressively leveling up your character. Sadly, the ability to play with other people is reserved for local co-op. Online co-op is yet to be included in Sons of Sparta, which certainly disappoints. Despite the news, the overall experience was a lot of fun. It may not have God of War 3's complex array of magic, or God of War Ragnarok's fun optional battles, but God of War Sons of Sparta is, in my opinion, a worthy addition to the roster of God of War games. In conclusion, God of War Sons of Sparta provides a different path, both aesthetically and gameplay-wise, to experience Kratos as a character and a combatant. The story provides further characterization to both Kratos and his brother Deimos. The gameplay follows the mechanics that have made the Metroidvania subgenre thoroughly enjoyable, and the new co-op mode, titled The Pit of Agonies, offers a fun collection of post-game content. I would still love to see a Metroidvania title with the Kratos that we have all grown to love in both the Greek and Norse titles, but the featured video game of today's review is solid nonetheless. I will give God of War Sons of Sparta for the PlayStation 5 an 8 out of 10. Well folks, that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for checking it out. Have you played God of War Sons of Sparta? What do you think about being placed in the shoes of a younger Kratos? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Till next time, have a great day or evening wherever you are. My name is AS, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.